Hola, it's Beto here, your daily divinity coach, here for my monthly mailbag number 4. I'm going to go ahead and tag some folk, see if we can get an audience going. If you're watching the recorded video, go ahead and feel free to fast forward a couple minutes, especially if you've already heard me give an introduction before. So just going to go ahead and tag a few friends, get an audience going. So again, if you've already heard my introduction, feel free to go ahead and fast forward while I go ahead and tag some folk so we can get an audience going. So again, just tagging some friends, and then we'll go get started in a little bit. Just seeing who's active on Facebook right now, so we can get an audience going. So we'll start very soon. Just tagging some friends and seeing who's on Facebook currently and who can join us so we can get a nice audience going for my monthly mailbag number 4. So just going to tag a few more people here, and we'll get started soon. Perfect. Awesome. So we got some people joining here. So shout out to Emma Lou. So if you all, Emma Lou or Danny, Patrick, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, let me know that my sound works. So do a sound check right now. If I can get a thumbs up or yes, we are here. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Lazy Nadia. So yes, awesome. So we're here for my monthly mailbag number 4. And this is Sunday, February 7th, 2020. What is my monthly mailbag? It's an opportunity for you all to submit questions, pre-submit questions, and I give thoughtful responses. So really excited. This is my 4th time doing it. And yes, I've got questions here that have been submitted, and I'm going to read them off and provide my responses. And so I do this live the first Sunday of every month. I do my monthly mailbag. But I'm here every Sunday, right? I do Sunday Weekly Revival every Sunday, where I present content and talk about new content, and then the first Sunday of every month, it's a live Q&A series. I do it actually on Instagram Live starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then here on Facebook Live starting at 11:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8:35 a.m. Pacific Time. So a little bit of an introduction to myself. More people are joining, so I just want to give a couple more minutes for some more people to join. My name is Beto. I am your daily divinity coach. I post daily on social media, here on Facebook, as well as Twitter and Instagram, just like a paragraph, spiritual inspiration every day. And then every Sunday, I'm here live for my Sunday Weekly Revival, except for the first Sunday of the month, when I do my monthly mailbag. Again, an opportunity for you all to pre-submit questions and for me to provide thoughtful responses. A little bit about me and what I do. So I teach on 3 main subjects or topics. One being the law of attraction. So my mother tutored me in the law of attraction starting as a young child at 10 years of age. So I talk about the law of attraction, or what I prefer to call manifesting abundance. I also talk about liberation theology, or what I call manifesting justice or social justice. So in college, I was introduced to liberation theology, and that was my emphasis of study at Harvard University Divinity School. So I am a Harvard University Divinity School graduate. I am a Master of Divinity. And the third thing I talk about is manifesting immortality, or being ageless, right? Being ageless or anti-aging, however you want to see it. And that I call manifesting immortality. So I actually produced these bracelets. And there's a black one that reads Manifest Immortality or Manifesting Immortality, a gray one that reads Manifest Justice, and a blue one that reads Manifest Abundance. I know it's hard for you to see, but they're rubber bracelets. I produce them for free, and I give them away for free. And if you're in the U.S., always free shipping. If you're anywhere in Europe, including I have cousins in Switzerland, I've sent these to Germany, I just sent a set yesterday to England. So anywhere in Europe, Eastern Europe, I've sent sets to Eastern Europe. Or anywhere in North America until the end of March, happy to send free manifest bracelet sets to you. So all you have to do is reach out. You can, if you have my phone number, you can text me, you can IM me, you can DM me, direct message me, instant message me. You can, again, if you have my phone or text me, or you can submit a form on dailydivinitycoach.com. So that's my introduction, and I want to go ahead and get started with your questions because we have some great questions here. The first question reads, what inspired you to do Sunday Weekly Revival and my monthly mailbag? So what took place is shortly after the pandemic started, right, the COVID-19 pandemic, on May 17th, I was asked to come on a show. So there's a young woman who does an Instagram live show on Instagram Live. And this show, she's from India. And she has a lot of followers who are like early career, in their 20s, early 30s. And so she does shows. She invites, specialists in different fields and to talk about different things. And because of the pandemic, she's having a lot of people come and talk about coping during the pandemic and that type of thing. And so I actually, when she, reached out, I explained, I'm not a therapist or anything like that. She said, no, I want the divinity side of things in response to the pandemic and helping people deal with it and stuff like that. So I said, oh, absolutely, I can do that. And so we did that on May 17th. We recorded on Instagram Live. And it's actually, if you go to my YouTube or if you visit my website, dailydivinitycoach.com, you can see it. And it was raw. I mean, I did not know what I was doing. I mean, I just got an Instagram account like less than a year and a half ago. And so it was my first time on Instagram Live, and if you see it, you'll be like, oh my God, the production value on my side is not very good. But, I did it, the content I thought was great. And so I did it, and a lot of people watched it, like hundreds of people watched it, not just in India, but throughout the world, including here in the US and Europe and everywhere else. And so anyhow, so that, we got a good response out of that. And so then the next month, or actually a couple weeks later, Crystal, who does a show also on Instagram Live, she calls it Feel Good Fridays, #Feel Good Fridays, and she reached out and she said, I saw your show with Tisha. Tisha's the young woman from India. With Tisha, she goes by Digi Explore. With Digi Explore, and I'd like you to come on my show do a guest appearance. We can do a Q&A just like you did with Tisha. And I said, all right, absolutely. So not to say the production value was much better, because I was still getting used to being on, Instagram Live and now here on Facebook Live. But so anyway, we did it. I thought the content was really good, and people responded. Again, a couple hundred people or a few hundred people watched it. And so then after that, people started asking, when are you going to do your own show? Or you should, saying that you should do your own show. And so I did. So I started Sunday Weekly Revival. Shortly after doing that, that Q&A on Tisha's Instagram Live show. So I did the first episode, and people responded. I got 700 people watch that Sunday Weekly Revival, that first episode. And again, production value wasn't great, but I was learning as I went. And so then after that, I decided, I'm going to go ahead and do this every week. So then I did, and it's evolved from there. I've done 31 episodes now, and this is my 4th monthly mailbag. So 35 weeks in a row I've been here on Facebook Live and also Instagram Live for Sunday Weekly Revival. How did my monthly mailbag start? Because that was just 4 months ago it started. So on October 4th, I actually recorded a podcast. There's a young man by the name of Alex Levy, and he hosts a podcast called The Spirit Guided Life. And he's got quite a few, lots of followers on Instagram and throughout social media. And he does these podcasts, and he gets lots of people watching these podcasts. And anyhow, he'd been following me on social media, and I've been following him. And he reached out and said, I'd like to record, a Q&A with you for one of my podcasts. And so we did. On October 4th, we recorded it. And we both agreed that, it went really well. And, a lot of people listen to it and whatnot. Well, Alex has a lot of followers, but a lot of people, who watch my shows and read my posts, listen to it. And so it went really well. So afterwards, I called my son, my firstborn son, who's in San Francisco, where I'm originally from. And I told him about this podcast that I recorded, because he'd been telling me, Dad, why don't you do a podcast? And so anyhow, I told him about this podcast, and I said, I don't think I want to do a podcast. I don't, I think my live shows are doing really well right now. But I like the way that Alex does his shows, where it's a Q&A and whatnot. And we started, talking. And I said, what if I did a show, where I take people's questions and I provide answers, pre-submitted questions. And he said, yeah, Dad, that's a thing. It's called a mailbag, and I didn't know it was a thing where people actually do these shows. And so, I said, oh, great. So then that's how my monthly mailbag started. So again, I recorded the October 4th, that podcast with Alex. Then the next month, November, for the first Sunday of November, I introduced my monthly mailbag. So it's been 4 months now. And so I do this the first Sunday of every month. And it's been going great. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Answering your questions. So anyhow, that was question number 1. We actually got 11 questions. So question number 1. Moving on to question number 2. Bethel, do you have a 5-year plan? Great question. So as I said earlier, I was tutored by my mother in the law of attraction from the time I was 10 years old, or 10 years young. And my mom, whenever we talk about time, my mom would say, so like in response to the 5-year plan, my mom would say this. She would say, what if the divine wants to give you the blessing in 5 months or 5 weeks or 5 days instead of 5 years? Why would you put the divine in a box, right? Why would you box the divine like that? That's always in my head, right? Since the time I was a kid, when people talk about 5-year plans. So the answer is no, I don't have a 5-year plan. I understand the need to, plan your work and work your plans. I'm not saying don't have a 5-year plan. I'm just saying, for me, I'm mission driven, right? I'm mission driven, and so yeah. So answer is no. I don't have a 5-year plan, but not that I don't think they're worthy of having one. It's just not how I was raised, because I don't want to be putting the divine in a box. So. Bethel, would it be suitable or would it be possible for you to send me multiple sets of manifest bracelets to share with my family and friends? Absolutely, yes. It would be my pleasure. I'd be happy to. Mi placer. Yes, and I've done it in the past. People reached out and said, Bethel, can I have a few manifest? So I just need your name, your address, and a quantity. If you want more than one set, I can definitely get you out sets with an S of manifest bracelets. And again, in the U.S., always free shipping until the end of March, free shipping anywhere in Europe or North America. But more than happy to do that. Next question, and this is a very deep question, a very insightful question. Bethel, does self-esteem impact one's ability to manifest immortality? I answered a similar question to this before on another show. Somebody asked about vanity and manifesting immortality. And manifesting immortality is not about vanity, not at all. It might be for the Silicon Valley billionaires like Peter Thiel, who are trying to use technology and and their millions of dollars, other people's billions of dollars to manifest immortality. But no, in regards to doing it spiritually, no. Self-esteem does not impact one's ability to manifest immortality. And I answer that because, referring to what we know of ancient text and ancient wisdom. So the great teacher said this, the meek shall inherit the earth, right? Or how I would interpret it, the meek shall inherit, shall manifest immortality. Well, who are the meek? Another word you can use for the meek is the righteous. And when I say the righteous, I don't mean like, in a personal way, right? Like the preachers will tell you, righteousness is about being pure, right? About being pure and, that type of thing. I mean systemically, the righteous. Because I was taught, I was educated in systems. So the righteous would be about those that care, what my divinity school advisor, Dr. Cornel West, would say, those that care for the least of these, right? So perfect example. Dolores Huerta, right? Cesar Chavez, right? They were people who devoted their lives to helping out the farm workers, right? The least of these, right? The people out in the fields, picking our lettuce, picking our strawberries, right? So that's righteous, right? What they did was righteous. Well, their acts are righteous. So it's really about righteousness, about how the great teachers, the meek, right? The Hopi, right? The Hopi talk about the humble, right? Humility, right? Toni Morrison, right? The great literary icon, Toni Morrison, talked about those pressed to the margins, right? The future in the hands of those pressed to the margins. I like the term the spiritual misfits. But whether we reflect on, the term the meek, the righteous, the humble, those pressed to the margins, the spiritual misfits, none of those, have a prerequisite of having to have high self-esteem, right? Not to say high self-esteem is not good or valued. Absolutely, it's great to have good self-esteem, to have confidence, right? But I think the more you delve into this work, I know for myself, my confidence has only grown. But yeah, so the answer is no. Self-esteem is not a requirement for manifesting immortality. It's more about being meek, being righteous in the way that I described righteous, humble, and then I like the term spiritual misfits because it's fun. So anyhow, the next question is actually a follow-up question to the question I just answered, and it came from two different people. This wasn't the same person. So this other person asked, Beto, what is meant by the meek shall inherit the earth? Will the meek inheriting the earth be a one-time event? Yes, I actually believe it will be a one-time event. And I answer this through the lens of ancient wisdom, right? Of Hopi Maya prophecy, that the fifth world will emerge. It's actually emerging, right? The fourth world is ending. The fifth world is emerging. And there's going to be, a profound change, right? And it's going to be a spiritual change, right? And you can call it a spiritual change, a spiritual enlightenment. You can even call it a spiritual conflict or a spiritual war. But there's going to be a great spiritual change, and that to me is what the great teacher meant when he said the meek or the righteous shall inherit the earth. Now, right now we're at an in-between time, right, between the fourth world and the fifth world. The fourth world is ending. The fifth world is emerging. The fourth world, the lords of scarcity are trying to hold on, right? They know their time is ending. We know the spiritual misfits, we know our time is coming. So we're like in that in-between time, right? But yes, I do believe it's going to be a one-time event. The currency is going to change, right? It's going to go from this dominance of man-made currency, right? It's going to flip to spiritual currency. So yes, I do believe it'll be a one-time event. Next question. This is a good one. It's a funny one. Beto, can immortals predict the future? If so, can you tell us who will win the Super Bowl? So it's Super Bowl Sunday in America. This is American football, right? Every year, the best two teams face off, and then there's a winner, right? The winner of the National Football League, the American football champions. So this year it's Tampa Bay versus Kansas City. They're going to do battle down in Florida later today. And there's going to be a winner. And so this person wants to know if I can predict the future, and if so, if I can tell them who the winner will be. It's funny. I laughed when I got this question. So as far as I know, no, I haven't been able to. Because if I were able, I would be in Las Vegas right now at a sports book. But since I'm not in Las Vegas, at a sports book, rather, I'm here in Boston. No. As far as I know, the answer is no. But I'm just one, right? So anyhow, and a follow-up question. Here's a follow-up. I got a lot of follow-up questions, and this is actually by somebody else. So they asked, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Do you think Tampa Bay will win or Kansas City? So I actually thought about this question a lot. And the reason why is because the person leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or their quarterback, is Tom Brady. And so Tom Brady, like myself, we're both natives, right? We're both originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. So we have that in common, right? I'm from Mazatlan. Tom Brady's from San Francisco Bay Area, just like I am, right? That's where we originate. So we have that in common. Tom Brady spent many years here in Boston, right? Leading the New England Patriots many seasons, right, in New England, in Boston. I have been here, many winters. It's snowing. I'm looking outside in winter right now. It's snowing. I've been here many winters. This California kid, right, from Atlan, who's been here in Boston many winters. So we have that in common. Tom Brady's partner is Giselle, right? She's Brazilian. My girlfriend, Legionaria, is Brazilian, right? So we have that in common. Tom Brady's seemingly ageless, right? Look at the guy. He's, seemingly ageless. Beto, I profess my immortality. So we have that in common. So we have a lot in common. So it's tough to pick against Tom Brady and his team, right? The Tampa Bay team. But on this other hand, I've seen this young talent, Mahomes, who's leading the other team, right? Leading Kansas City against Tom Brady's Tampa Bay. And he's quite the talent, right? So, and I think he's actually favored. I think Kansas City's favored. Last I looked, 3 or 3.5 points. I don't know if the margins have slimmed or widened since then. But anyhow, I don't have a prediction. I just hoping for a good, competitive, and safe game that everybody comes away safe. So, but a great question. That was fun. Okay, so this question actually came from my father. First time one of my parents has asked me a question. Anybody from my immediate family. I've had extended family ask, but from my immediate family. So the question is, Beto, why in my vision of heaven did the spirits have bodies? So again, why in my vision of heaven, Beto, did the spirits have bodies? So he actually asked this question not too long ago when he had a conversation about it, but he sent it in because he wanted you all to hear, what I had to say, because he really enjoyed my response, and he wanted everybody to hear it. So here's the answer. Ancient text tells us, for God created humans to be immortal, right? The great teacher, right, ascended to heaven alive in his physical body, as did Elijah and others. He wasn't the only one. So when my father posed this question, my response was, it's because that's how it's supposed to be, right? We're created to be immortal. We're not created to shed our physical bodies, right? We're created ideally, right? The ideal, like the great teachers, that we would ascend to heaven alive in our physical bodies. I believe he came and taught us that physical death is an untruth. We're not created that way, right? We're loved by the divine, right? The divine doesn't want to see us endure physical death, right? So that's the answer, is that we're not created that way. So that's why when, I said this to my father, when you were in heaven, you saw these visions of bodies, you didn't see, these spirits, you didn't see them like Casper the Friendly Ghost, right? These spirits were, like sheets over them and stuff, and you couldn't make them out. You actually saw these spirits in bodies, right? You made out the people. And that's because that's how we're created to be. We're created to be immortal. So great question. And again, he asked it, he submitted it because he wanted you all to hear the conversation we had, or my response to his question. So moving on, next question number 9. Beto, I actually got a couple questions about Legionaria, about my girlfriend, your girlfriend. This question says, your photo with your girlfriend, Legionaria, brought me hope. Do you and your mom pray for those seeking partners? So I posted a picture of Legionaria and myself, and how she says that the universe brought us together. She prayed for us to come together, and I was also manifesting as well. And so anyway, it brought this person hope, and they wanted to know if my mom and I would pray for them, say a scientific prayer for them, because they're also seeking a partner. So the answer is yes, absolutely. We've done it, and more than once we've done this. And so the answer would be yes, but send over the specs, right? If you've seen me talk before, I like to use the word specs. Send over the specs, send over the specifications. What do I mean by that? You need to do your homework. You need to know what you want and why you want it, right? So, for example, if you were to call a carpenter, right, the great teacher is a carpenter, if you were to call a carpenter and say, I want you to build me a house, you wouldn't just say, I want you to build me a house, click, right? You'd say, I want you to build me a house, and there'd be a conversation. Well, the carpenter would say, I need specifications, right? What are the specs? Well, I want this, I want that. Plans would be drawn out, hopefully not a 5-year plan, but plans would be drawn out and, be refined, and then, they get, the carpenters would get to work, right? The labor force, and, hopefully you get the house that you wanted, right? But you'd have to do the work, why do I want the kitchen here? And, why, I want the 2 stories, 1 story, 3 stories, whatever, right? You'd have to build the specs and decide what you want and why you want it. So yes, but send the specs to that answer to that question. So the next question, another question about Lazy Nadia. So question asks, does your girlfriend Lazy Nadia celebrate reverse birthdays? So the answer is yes. So what took place is I met Lazy Nadia. It was a few weeks before one of her milestone birthdays, right? So one of those birthdays that ends in a 0. And so she already had plans to celebrate this birthday that ends in a 0 because it's a milestone, right? So we celebrated that that birthday with her, that milestone birthday. And that was just a regular traditional birthday. But before, celebrating, I'd already been talking to her about manifesting immortality, about my, about reverse birthdays. She'd been watching my shows and reading my posts. So she determined that, after this milestone birthday, right, this birthday that ends in a 0, that the next birthday would be a reverse birthday. So yes, 2021, so this year in 2021, near the end of 2021 actually, she will be celebrating her first reverse birthday. So she tells me, every day we talk, and she said, if we don't see each other face to face, but every day we talk, and she says, Beto, I tell myself every day, Lazy Nadia, you're getting younger every day, in preparation for my first reverse birthday at the end of the year, at the end of 2021. So yes, Lazy Nadia, she is manifesting it, she is speaking it into existence, and at the end of the year, she will be celebrating her first reverse birthday. So this is the last question I have for today. And again, thank you so much for joining. I'm really having fun with this episode, my monthly mailbag number 4. This question asks, and it's kind of a follow-up question to the last one because it's about reverse birthdays. This person asks, Beto, why not double reverse birthdays? Or triple? Or even quadruple? Right? So this person wants to get younger faster, right? That's what they're asking. So I've actually thought a lot about this, even before this question came in, but obviously this question made me focus my ideas. And so my question back, or I hate to answer a question with a question, but my question back would be, have you seen X-Files? The TV series, the very, very, very popular TV series X-Files. Have you seen Men in Black? The reason I decided not to double time reverse birthdays is, I don't need the FBI, I don't need the CIA, I don't need their government scientists, to be knocking on my door, right? So anyhow, as I was thinking about a response to this question, I actually envisioned, actually had a dream about this, and envisioned, what would happen, right? What would happen if I double timed, right? If I double timed my reverse birthdays. And I imagined, these scientists and these federal people, knocking on my door, and what would I do? Hello, how are you? Come on in. Do you want something to drink? I got water. I got seltzer water. That's all I drink. And they'd probably say, I'd like a coffee or a tea. I don't really got that. Sorry. But I got water, I got seltzer water, and then they'd probably take it, and do you want a snack? I can whip you up some tacos or something. And, no, that's okay. And then I'd have to say, hey, I think I know what you guys are here for, and probably want to ask questions about poking and putting me through tests and stuff like that. But before we have a conversation, I'd like to call my immortality attorney, right? My immortality lawyer. So then, so politely I dismiss myself, and I get my cell phone and I call Dave, right? Dave's my workout partner. He also celebrates reverse birthdays, and he's an attorney, right? And I call him my immortality attorney, or my immortality lawyer. And so this is the what I envisioned the conversation would go. I'd say, Dave, they're here. And Dave would say, who? Who, Beto? The feds? And I would say, yes, Dave, the feds. And Dave would say, Beto, as your immortality attorney, I advised you against double timing your reverse birthdays. And I would say, I remember, Dave, I blew it. You said a day for a day, a year for a year. I got eager, I got aggressive. I started double timing my reverse birthdays, my reverse aging. And so, they're here. And so Dave would say, exactly, they're there, I told you, don't call unnecessary attention to yourself. A day for a day, a year for a year, that was enough. You didn't need to double time this. And so I'd say, yes, Dave, yes, I know. I should have stayed stealth, right? I should have stayed stealth with these reverse birthdays. But I didn't. I blew it. My bad. What do we do now, Dave? What do we do? You're my immortality attorney. You're my immortality lawyer. What do we do? And Dave would say, all right, Bethel. Don't worry. I got you. I got this. Just let them know I'll be right over. Don't answer any questions. And just let them know your immortality attorney, your immortality lawyer is on the way. So that's it. That's what happened when I was thinking about this question, the conversation I imagined with Dave. So I'm going to go ahead and end here. I believe it's been a little bit over 30 minutes now. I really do appreciate you tuning in for my monthly mailbag number 4. I'm here every Sunday for Sunday Weekly Revival, and on the first Sunday of the month, I do these shows. I take your pre-submitted questions, and I provide thoughtful responses, my monthly mailbag. So we'll be back next Sunday here on Facebook Live starting at 11:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm at here on the East Coast in Boston, 8:35 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'm originally from, in California on the West Coast, for my Sunday Weekly Revival. And then fast forward about a month, and we'll be back for my monthly mailbag number 5. I do appreciate you for giving your time to watch this show, whether you're watching live or you're watching the recorded video. I'm humbled. I'm grateful for you for this medium to be able to give information, hopefully provide a little wisdom. And I'm also very grateful for those of you that have sent in questions. So from now until the next month mailbag, if you have any questions, please pre-submit them. You can do that via instant messenger, direct messenger. If you have my telephone number, you can text me. I got one of these via phone call, or you can visit my website, dailydivinitycoach.com, where you can pull out an order form. You can pull out an order form and actually submit a question via the website. So I'm going to go ahead and put on these reading glasses now and turn this off. Have a blessed rest of your Sunday, rest of your day, whether it's daytime where you're at or evening. I just hope blessings for you and your family. Bye-bye now.